She's right there beside you in bed, but she might as well be a stranger. Cold, distant, untouched by the thought of you. Sex feels like a chore she'd rather skip forever. You lie next to her, confused and hollow, wondering where that woman who used to want you so badly disappeared to. What changed? How did her touch go from warm and hungry to lifeless and polite? You've gone through every possible reason. You checked her phone, watched her habits, maybe even thought about following her. But there's no one else. She isn't cheating. She's just lost interest in you completely. And somehow she's fine with that. She doesn't want to leave, doesn't want to divorce. She's perfectly comfortable living in this quiet, emotionless partnership, a marriage in name only. You share bills, raise kids, make small talk, but everything that made it a romance died a long time ago, and you can't make sense of it. You replay moments, arguments, small changes, trying to spot the turning point. But the truth is, what died wasn't her body's desire. It was in her mind. A slow, invisible death that probably began years ago. Because for women, desire doesn't start in the body, it starts in the mind, and it dies in disappointment. Once that spark goes out, reviving it is like trying to bring back the dead. Possible, but only if you understand what killed it. It's not another man, it's not hormones or medical issues. When you've ruled all that out, what's left is psychological. The problem lives in how she sees you now versus how she once saw you. And that change, that shift from fascination to frustration, is where her desire vanished. The first big reason? You didn't live up to her expectations. Unfair maybe, but very real. When a woman falls for you, she doesn't fall for who you are. She falls for what she imagines you could be. She builds a fantasy in her mind, a version of you that exists only in her hopes. You were the potential, the promise, the man she dreamed you'd become. At first, you seemed to fit that fantasy. The excitement of something new made you look like that version she pictured. But time has a way of showing the truth. Reality stripped away the dream, and the man she's left with is just human, not the movie version she built in her head. She won't say it out loud, but deep down she feels tricked. Not by you, but by her own imagination. She built you up into something larger than life, and when you didn't become that man, she felt betrayed. But she can't admit that to herself. So she blames you. In her mind, you changed. You stopped trying. You became boring, lazy, predictable. But the truth is, you just stopped performing. You went from being the man she imagined to the man you actually are. And now, every day she looks at you, she's reminded of what she thought her life would be and what it actually is. She compares herself to her friends, their husbands, their vacations, their homes, and you always come up short. It doesn't matter that you're loyal, hardworking, decent. None of that matters because you're not her fantasy. And once a woman sees you as a symbol of disappointment, her desire for you dies quietly, piece by piece. Then there's the second reason, broken trust. Not the kind that comes from cheating, but the deeper kind. Emotional trust. The kind that lets her feel safe being vulnerable. The kind that lets her completely relax and open herself to you. Somewhere along the way, that trust cracked. Maybe you didn't mean to break it, but you did. With a joke that landed wrong, with a dismissive tone, with the way you made her feel small in a moment when she needed to feel understood. It doesn't take much. Maybe she told you about something she loved and you laughed. Maybe she opened up about a dream and you brushed it off. Maybe she tried to talk about something emotional and you tried to fix it instead of listening. Every one of those moments told her in small ways that she couldn't be fully herself around you. So she learned to hide pieces of herself. She stopped sharing what she really thought or felt. She became more polite, more careful, quieter. And that kind of emotional hiding kills sexual energy. You can expect her to be open with her body when she can even be open with her mind. You can't expect her to be wild in bed when she feels judged in life. She didn't stop wanting sex altogether. She stopped wanting it with you. Because intimacy requires trust, and the trust she once had is gone. She might still love you, care about you, even want to stay married, but the part of her that craves you is dead. Resentment is the next killer. Women don't always explode with anger. They collect it. Every time you disappointed her, hurt her feelings, forgot something important, or made her feel unseen, she stored it away. Maybe she never mentioned it. Maybe she smiled and moved on, but she didn't forget. Every one of those small moments piled up, layer after layer, until she built a quiet wall between you. She remembers things you barely recall. That time you looked at your phone when she was talking, the joke about her mother, the night you came home late and didn't text, the way you brushed off her complaints. None of it seemed like a big deal, but she kept score. And now her body reacts to you through that resentment. She doesn't want to kiss you, not because she hates you, but because touching you reminds her of everything she's still angry about. She talks to her friends about it too. They tell her she deserves more, that their men are worse or better. Either way, they fuel her story. She bonds with them over shared disappointment, over how men never understand. That shared resentment becomes part of her identity. She's no longer just your wife. She's the woman who puts up with you. And once she starts seeing herself that way, desire dies completely. She starts feeling like the martyr in the story, the one who sacrifices, who tolerates, who endures. Martyrs don't make love. They suffer quietly and convince themselves it's noble. That's what she's doing now. She doesn't crave you because in her mind she's the one surviving you. Then comes the hardest part, the sexual lie that became a prison. In the beginning, both of you were pretending. You tried to impress her. She tried to please you. You both acted like you were having the best time of your lives. She moaned when you did something she didn't like. She smiled when she wanted to stop. You thought she was enjoying it, so you kept doing it. You built a whole routine around things she never actually wanted. Now she dreads intimacy because every time you touch her, it reminds her of those moments she pretended. You don't know it, but every time she faked it, she trained herself to disconnect. She created a habit of enduring instead of enjoying. That's why her body now resists you. It's not just emotional, it's physical. Her mind taught her body that sex with you is something to survive, not something to crave. After years of pretending, her body finally gave up. What started as mild discomfort turned into avoidance. The headaches, the excuses, the sudden tiredness. They're not fake. They're her body's way of protecting itself from an experience she secretly dreads. You might think she's rejecting you, but really, she's protecting herself from what sex with you has come to mean. Not closeness, not passion, just duty. A routine that feels more like a chore than love. When she finally tells you the truth, that she never enjoyed it, that she faked everything, you feel destroyed. You feel lied to, humiliated, betrayed. And she feels both guilty and relieved. Guilty for deceiving you all these years, but relieved she no longer has to pretend. At that point, both of you are trapped in a sexless cycle that neither knows how to fix. You feel unwanted and she feels misunderstood. What makes it even darker is that maybe she never truly desired you from the start. Maybe what looked like desire was her playing a part, doing what she thought she was supposed to do to keep you close, to make you love her, to build a life together. Society teaches women early that their worth comes from being wanted, so they learn how to act like they want it too, even when they don't. And sometimes they even convince themselves it's real, but eventually the act falls apart. The pretending becomes exhausting. The smiles fade, the fake moans stop. The part of her that used to perform simply shuts down. She doesn't hate you. She's just done pretending. And now, she stays in the marriage not because she loves the passion, but because it's comfortable, because it's stable, because starting over sounds harder than living without sex. She tells herself she can live without intimacy, that emotional safety, financial stability, and family are enough. She's built a life she doesn't want to ruin, even if it means living with no desire. So she stays. And you, still craving her touch, keep trying to fix something she's already made peace with losing. You keep hoping things will change. You buy flowers, plan nights out, try to be more romantic, more helpful, more patient. You think maybe if you show her more love, she'll want you again. But it doesn't work because the problem isn't about what you do now. It is everything that has already happened. You're trying to fix years of disappointment with small gestures, but her desire didn't die overnight. It faded slowly, piece by piece, until there was nothing left to save. She's learned to live without passion. To her, it's not strange anymore. It's normal. The quiet house, the separate sides of the bed, the polite affection, that's her peace now. The absence of sex doesn't feel like loss to her anymore. It feels safe, predictable, easy. You're the only one who still feels the emptiness, the distance, the ache. You're the only one still hoping. You wonder what went wrong. You read articles about bringing back the spark, but deep down you know it's not coming back. She doesn't want that spark. It scares her now. It reminds her of pretending, of pressure, of disappointment. You crave connection, but she's found comfort in separation. The silence between you has become her shelter. And the saddest part is, this could have been avoided if both of you had been honest. If she told you what she really wanted instead of faking it. If you'd listened instead of fixing. If both of you had been brave enough to be real instead of playing roles. But that kind of honesty is rare. So now you are here, sharing a bed with a woman who stopped wanting you years ago. You're still hoping to bring her back, but she's already gone in every way that matters. She stays because leaving would be messy, because life with you is easier than life without you, because stability has replaced desire. You think you're still married, but what you have now is an arrangement. Two people sharing space, history, and memories, but not love. And while you're still trying to wake something that's long dead, she's already made peace with the quiet. You're still fighting for connection, but she's settled for survival. That's why she doesn't want you. Not because you did one terrible thing, but because over time too many small things happened, and she finally stopped feeling anything at all. You can force desire back into someone who has decided she doesn't need it. You can beg, you can reason, you can wait, but nothing changes. She's already accepted this quiet version of life where passion doesn't exist and comfort is enough. And every time you bring it up, she sees it as pressure, as another thing you want that she can't give. She tells herself you should be grateful, that she's still here, still loyal, still trying. But what she doesn't understand is that her body's presence means nothing when her heart and mind checked out long ago. She doesn't hate you. In her own way, she might even love you. But it's not the kind of love that wants or needs, it's the kind that pities, the kind that stays out of routine. You've become part of her stability, the steady thing she leans on while quietly resenting the fact that she has to. You're not her desire anymore. You're her comfort zone. And the more you try to reach her, the further she drifts. You'll notice it in small ways. The way she sighs when you touch her. The way she looks at her phone instead of your face. The way she talks about the future like it doesn't include passion anymore. You'll keep hoping for signs that she still cares, but all you'll find are traces of the woman she used to be. She hasn't been yours for a long time, and the truth is, she doesn't want to be. Desire didn't leave overnight. It started slowly, over years of unspoken disappointments and quiet disconnections. You kept trying to fix what she already buried, and she kept pretending long enough for both of you to forget what real closeness felt like. You can't rebuild something she's already decided she doesn't miss. You can't bring back someone who's already made peace with being gone. The woman lying next to you isn't your partner anymore. She's a memory of what used to be. You are still holding on to the hope that she'll wake up one day and want you again. But the truth is, she's already learned to live without wanting at all. And that's the kind of loss you can't see, can't fight, can't fix.